gentlemen, we're here, the NFC East report. What is this, week 8? I don't know. Yeah, it's week 8 because the Cowboys are 6-1 after having a bye week. So we're going to get right in on the action, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start the day with Fly, Eagles, Fly. The Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions. The Lions, the worst team in professional football. And the Philadelphia Eagles showed them. Jalen Hurts barely throws for over 100 yards, and it didn't matter. The Eagles' defense was all over Jared Goff in this game. 44-6. Jared Goff's got the worst offensive line I may have ever seen in professional football. The Philadelphia Eagles had to do next to nothing offensively and still threw up 44 points. The Detroit Lions could very well be the first team to ever go 0-17, ladies and gentlemen. They were the first ones to go 0-16. Why not be the next ones, huh? Those are rookie numbers, right? You got to pump them up. Detroit, a terrible piece of trash. And Philadelphia did exactly what they needed to do, and they put it on them. The next game we saw the Washington football team. The Washington football team taking on the 4-loss in a row lowly Denver Broncos. And I tell you what happened. Taylor Heineke throwing picks. Once again, Taylor Heineke throws 2 interceptions, one before the half, one before, trying to just tie the game, and they lose a stinker. 17-10 to Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos. There's not a lot to even say. 17-10. Garbage offenses. Just and does Chase Young even play? Does he still play in the NFL? All this talk about Chase Young last season. He's doing this, he's doing that, and if he gets double teamed, don't matter. Nobody else is any better for it. Chase is a lot of this. He's a lot of animation. They always got the cameras on him, but his numbers are horrible. Horrible. So, the guy that you drafted to make a difference on your team has become non-existent for one reason or another. You don't have a franchise quarterback, and that's nothing new for Washington, as they've almost never had one. They just have nothing. McKissick, that's your best player? Scary Terry, who they can't get a ball to? I mean, not in crunch time. Sorry, but there's not a lot to talk about. I wish I could make up something, but you Washington fans know. Which then brings us to the Brood Award. And I've made a mistake 2 weeks in a row and accidentally said that the Brood Award would go to the Washington football team. But I must have been a prophet. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Heineke, you are a stinky young man. And the only way to get that stink off Taylor Heineke's rear end is to have him splash some of this damn Brute on it. Brute Splash On by Fabergé. The only thing that'll get the stink of the Washington football team off your ass. Now we move on. Sunday Night Football, America's team. And then they make the announcement. Dak Prescott won't be playing. And by now you all know the legend of Cooper Rush began. The backup quarterback that only threw 3 passes in the 2017 season. Nobody gave him a chance, and Cooper Rush started shaky. He started how we would expect. But then he started getting a little confidence. And then he hits one for 70 yards. He hits it, Cedric Wilson, 70 yards for a touchdown. And then the confidence seemed to grow, but drives just kept stalling. They kept stalling. But the defense, my goodness, Randy Gregory. My goodness, Micah Parsons. My goodness, Anthony Brown. The defense, Basham, all over Kirk Cousins. Cousins could do nothing but dink and dunk, move around to try to get away from the pressure that was constantly on him. The Dallas defense steps up and holds Minnesota to a total of 16 points, allowing Cooper Rush to be able to put the nail in the coffin. To Amari Cooper on a fade at the top of the end zone, put a touchdown. 20-16, America's team extends to 6-1, arguably the best team in the National Football League. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way there yet, but there's 5 real good teams in the NFC, and the 6th team in the league might be in the AFC. That's how the difference is. The NFC is the power. But regardless, we have to move on. This is the NFC East report, and we got to move on. The New York Football Giants taking on former world champion Kansas City Chiefs Patrick Mahomes. New York Football Giants out there in Kansas City, out there at Arrowhead, in the loudest crowd in the NFL, against the worst defense in professional football, and couldn't manage to even score 20 points. The New York Football Giants fall to Pat Mahomes and no offensive line, Pat Mahomes and no defense, and they still couldn't get it done. The New York Football Giants. They're finished. They're finished. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The New York Football Giants not being able to get it done out in Arrowhead. The Washington football team not being able to get it done against Denver. Philly, fly Eagles fly, with the hard victory over the Detroit Lions. And Cooper Rush leading the Dallas Cowboys over potential wild card team, the Minnesota Vikings, solidifying America's team as if maybe the best team in the National Football League. Until then, we'll see you next week.